Mira lived in a small town where everyone knew each other. She worked at the town library, a quiet place filled with the smell of old books and the sound of pages turning. Mira loved her job because it allowed her to help people. Children came to her for stories, students came to her for study help, and even adults sought her advice. She always smiled, greeted everyone politely, and never expected anything in return. Her life was simple, and she liked it that way. One morning, Mira woke up to the sound of rain tapping on her window. The streets were wet and the sky was gray, but she put on her coat and headed to work. She enjoyed walking in the rain because it made the world feel fresh and clean. She carried a small umbrella, but the wind often made it useless. As she walked down the main street, Mira noticed something unusual. A black car had stopped in the middle of the road, and the driver was standing outside looking worried. Cars were honking and people were shouting, trying to get through the traffic. Mira saw that the man in the suit was struggling to push the car. He looked frustrated and confused. Without thinking, Mira ran closer to help. "Excuse me, sir. Do you need help?" she asked. The man looked at her, surprised. "Yes, please. The car just stopped and I don't know what to do," he replied politely. His voice was calm, but Mira could see the worry in his eyes. Mira quickly assessed the situation. She noticed that the car was heavy and the street was slippery from the rain. She shouted to the drivers, "Please wait! We need a moment to move the car." Some drivers slowed down, giving them space. Together, Mira and the man tried to push the car. At first it did not move, but Mira encouraged him. "We can do it. Let's try together." With one strong push, the car slowly rolled to the side of the street, out of the way of traffic. The man sighed in relief, wiping the rain from his face. "Thank you so much," he said, genuinely grateful. "I don't know what I would have done without you." Mira smiled shyly. "I'm happy it's okay now. I just wanted to help." She didn't ask his name or care about who he was. Helping someone in need was just the right thing to do. The man looked at her carefully, as if noticing her for the first time. He wore a perfectly tailored suit, shiny shoes, and a watch that seemed very expensive. He looked like someone important, someone from a world Mira had never seen before. Yet she did not feel afraid. Instead, she felt calm and confident because she had acted from her heart. "I'm Ryan," the man said finally. "I live in the city and I was passing through." "Your help means a lot to me," Mira nodded politely. "I'm Mira. I work at the library here. It's nice to meet you." She did not expect the man to remember her, and she certainly did not think he would do anything for her in return. Helping people was normal for her. Ryan smiled again, and there was something in his eyes, a mix of surprise and admiration. Most people would have only walked by or called for help, but Mira had acted immediately. He had seen many people in his life, but he had rarely seen such pure kindness. After a moment, Mira said goodbye and continued her walk to the library. She was slightly wet from the rain, but she did not mind. Her thoughts returned to her usual routine, organizing books, preparing story sessions for children, and helping students find the information they needed. She did not realize that Ryan was watching her leave from a distance, intrigued by her calm courage and genuine heart. That simple morning act, helping a stranger in trouble, was ordinary for Mira, but for Ryan, it was extraordinary. And it was only the beginning. Neither of them knew that this encounter would lead to events that could change both their lives in ways they could never imagine. Mira stepped into the library, shook off the rain, and smiled at the familiar sight of shelves filled with books. She felt happy and peaceful, unaware that her small act of kindness had started a journey that could bring new opportunities, new challenges, and new friendships. Mira spent the rest of her morning at the library, helping children pick their favorite stories and guiding students with their research. She enjoyed seeing their happy faces when they discovered something new. Yet a small part of her mind kept thinking about the man from the morning. Who was he? Why had he seemed so calm yet so worried at the same time? She quickly shook her head. It was nothing. He was a stranger, and strangers often came and went in her life. Meanwhile, Ryan returned to his car after Mira had left.
He could not stop thinking about her.
Most people he met were polite or even friendly, but Mira's kindness had been natural and genuine. She had not hesitated to step into a difficult situation, even in the rain, even in the middle of a busy street. It was rare to see someone act so selflessly without expecting anything in return. Ryan decided to find out more about her. He asked a driver in the town about the library and the young woman who worked there. The driver smiled and pointed him in the right direction. Ryan walked slowly, taking in the simple beauty of the town, its clean streets, friendly faces, and quiet charm. It was a world very different from the city he was used to. When Ryan arrived at the library, he was greeted by the familiar sound of pages turning and children laughing. Mira noticed him immediately but was slightly surprised to see him there. "Hello, Mira," Ryan said warmly. "I hope I'm not disturbing you." "I wanted to thank you properly for helping me this morning." Mira shook her head. "You already thanked me. That is enough." "I was just doing what anyone should do." Ryan smiled. "I understand, but I insist. Your kindness deserves recognition." He paused for a moment and then continued. "I would like to invite you to visit the city. There is a place I think you would find interesting and I would like to show you." Mira hesitated. She had never traveled much. The city was full of tall buildings, fast cars, and crowds of people, a world very different from her quiet town. She did not know what to say. "It's okay if you don't want to," Ryan added quickly. "I just thought you might like to see something new. It's my way of saying thank you." Mira thought about it. On one hand, it sounded exciting. On the other hand, she felt nervous. She had never met anyone like Ryan before, but something about his calm and genuine way of speaking made her feel safe. "All right," she said finally. "I will come, but only because it is a kind invitation, not because of anything else." Ryan laughed softly. "Of course, Mira, I respect that." Over the next few days, Mira prepared for the trip. She packed her clothes carefully, making sure to bring a few books she loved. She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The thought of traveling to a new place and seeing new things made her heart race, but she reminded herself to stay calm and enjoy the experience. The day of the trip arrived. Ryan greeted her with a friendly smile and helped her into his car. The drive was smooth, and Mira looked out of the window at the changing scenery. Fields turned into hills. Small houses turned into larger buildings, and soon they were entering the city. Mira had never seen so many lights, cars, and people. It was overwhelming, but in a good way. Ryan noticed her wide eyes and said, "Don't worry. The city can feel big and loud at first. I'll show you the places that are calm and interesting." Mira smiled, feeling a little more confident. She realized that Ryan was not just rich or powerful. He was patient, kind, and thoughtful. It was rare to meet someone who could understand the small joys in life, while living in a world full of fast decisions and big responsibilities. By the time they reached Ryan's office, Mira was already curious about the city and the life Ryan led. She had no idea that this visit would soon reveal secrets, surprises, and a story that would change both their lives forever. Ryan watched her with interest, wondering what she would think of his world, and more importantly, what she would teach him about kindness, courage, and life outside of wealth and power. Mira had never been inside a building as tall and bright as Ryan's office. The walls were lined with large windows that reflected sunlight, and the floors were shiny and spotless. She looked around in awe, noticing paintings, sculptures, and shelves filled with books and awards. It was a world very different from her quiet town, yet something about it felt welcoming because of Ryan's calm presence. "Welcome, Mira," Ryan said, smiling. "I know this might feel overwhelming, but I want you to see the parts of my world that are meaningful to me, not just the business side." Mira nodded politely. "Thank you, Mr. Ryan. It's very kind of you to show me this." Ryan chuckled softly. "Please call me Ryan. I want you to feel comfortable." He guided her through the office, explaining different sections. There was a room full of books from around the world, a space with beautiful plants and soft music where people came to think and relax, and a small area where Ryan and his team worked on projects to help communities in need. Mira's eyes lit up when she saw the projects. "These are your ideas?" she asked, pointing to the projects. "Yes," Ryan replied. "I believe in helping people who need support. Wealth is useful only if it can bring positive change." Mira smiled. She could see that Ryan was not just wealthy. He cared deeply about making a difference. Her respect for him grew, and she felt a connection forming between them, one that went beyond the first morning in the rain. After the tour, Ryan invited Mira to sit in a small lounge with comfortable chairs and a view of the city skyline. A soft breeze came through the open windows, carrying the faint sound of traffic and the distant hum of city life. "I wanted to show you this side of my life because it matters to me," Ryan said. "Most people see only the surface, luxury, fast cars, tall buildings, but the real meaning comes from what we do for others." Mira listened carefully. I can see that, she said. It's very different from my town, but it is inspiring. You are using your resources for good, and that is something special. Ryan smiled. Thank you, Mira. I have met many people, but very few truly understand this. You seem to notice what really matters. Mira felt a warm feeling in her chest. She realized that she was beginning to see Ryan not just as a rich man, but as someone with a kind heart who cared about more than wealth. She wondered how many people had misunderstood him because of his appearance and status. As they talked, Ryan offered to show her more of the city the next day. There are places I think you will enjoy, he said. Not the usual tourist spots, but peaceful places where you can experience art, nature, and learning. Mira felt excited. She had never traveled far from her town, and this invitation felt like an adventure. I would love that, she replied. The rest of the day passed quickly. Ryan took her to a small cafe overlooking the river, where the water reflected the setting sun. They shared stories of their childhoods, their dreams, and their hopes. Mira told Ryan about growing up in a quiet town, reading books, and helping people in her own small ways. Ryan shared his experiences of city life, running businesses, and trying to create positive change. By the time the evening came, Mira felt that this day had opened a new door in her life. She had stepped into a world she had never imagined. Yet it felt comfortable because she could see the genuine goodness in Ryan. As they said goodbye for the night, Ryan said, I'm glad you came, Mira. Tomorrow, I want to show you something very special. It is a part of my life that only a few people know about. Mira smiled, her heart filled with curiosity. I will be ready, she said. That night, as Mira rested in her hotel room, she thought about how a simple act of helping a stranger had led her to this new world. She realized that life could bring unexpected opportunities, and sometimes, courage and kindness could open doors no one imagined. Unbeknownst to her, Ryan was also thinking the same. He had met many people in his life, but Mira had left a mark on him. Her courage, simplicity, and genuine kindness were qualities he had rarely seen, and he knew that knowing her could change his own life forever. The city lights twinkled outside, promising new experiences, new discoveries, and a journey that was only just beginning for both of them. The next morning, Mira woke up early, her mind buzzing with curiosity. She could not stop thinking about what Ryan had said the night before. What was the special part of his life that only a few people knew about? She quickly got ready, dressed in simple, comfortable clothes, and stepped out into the cool morning air. The city felt different in the daylight, less intimidating and more alive. Ryan was already waiting in the lobby of the hotel. He greeted Mira with a warm smile. Good morning, Mira. I hope you slept well. I did, thank you, she replied. I am ready to see what you wanted to show me. Ryan's eyes twinkled with excitement. I think you will enjoy this. Follow me. They walked through the city streets, which were quieter in the morning. Small shops were opening, people were heading to work, and birds sang from the trees lining the sidewalks. Mira noticed details she had missed before. The flowers in the shop windows, the laughter of children playing, the smell of fresh bread from a bakery. Everything seemed more alive when she was observing it closely. After some walking, they reached a large building that looked ordinary from the outside. Mira raised her eyebrows. Is this the place? She asked. Ryan nodded. Yes, inside you will see what matters most to me. It is a project I have been working on for years. Very few people know about it, and I want you to be the first visitor today. Curious, Mira followed him inside. The lobby was bright and welcoming, filled with sunlight and greenery. As they walked further, Mira noticed a room filled with computers, papers, and people working together quietly. But beyond that, there was a large hall with paintings on the walls, tables full of books, and areas for learning and creativity. This is amazing, Mira whispered. What is this place? Ryan smiled. This is a community center for children and young adults who need support. Some of them do not have access to good education or guidance at home. I wanted to create a place where they could learn, explore, and grow in a safe and positive environment. Mira's eyes widened. She could feel the care and thought Ryan had put into every detail. It is beautiful, she said. You did this for them? Yes, Ryan replied. It is my way of giving back. Money is not everything. Helping others, giving them hope, and inspiring them, that is what matters most. And now I want you to see it in action. They walked further into the center. Children were reading books, painting, solving puzzles, and helping each other. Some were laughing, some were concentrating deeply, but all of them seemed happy and safe. Mira felt a warm feeling in her heart. She had spent her life helping in small ways. But this was a world where one person's vision could touch so many lives. A young boy noticed Mira and ran up to her. "Hi, do you want to join us for a story?" he asked eagerly. Mira smiled. "I would love to." She spent the next hour reading to the children, answering their questions, and even helping them with simple games. She felt alive in a way she had never felt before. Seeing the children's joy made her feel connected to Ryan's work and inspired her to think bigger about her own life. Ryan watched quietly from a distance, his heart filled with admiration. Mira's presence brought warmth and energy to the center, and he realized that her kindness was not limited to one moment in the rain. It was natural, genuine, and powerful. After the session, Ryan and Mira sat in a quiet corner of the hall. "I wanted to show you this because I trust you," Ryan said softly. "Most people see wealth and think it is about luxury, but you understand what really matters. That is rare." Mira looked at him thoughtfully. "I believe anyone can make a difference in big ways or small. You are just showing it on a larger scale." Ryan nodded, impressed by her perspective. "Exactly. And meeting you has reminded me that sometimes the simplest acts, like helping a stranger, can reveal who we truly are and what we value." Mira smiled quietly. She did not realize that Ryan's words were not just about her morning act of kindness, but about the connection forming between them. In the quiet hall filled with learning and laughter, both of them understood that this day would mark a turning point. As they left the center, Mira felt a mixture of inspiration and curiosity. She had seen a part of Ryan's life that few people ever knew, and she realized that there was more to discover, not only about him, but also about the possibilities life could offer when kindness and courage guided every decision. Ryan, walking beside her, felt a sense of hope he had not felt in years. Mira's presence was changing his perspective, and he knew that their journey together was only just beginning. Mira woke up to the soft hum of the city outside her window. Today promised to be another day of discovery, and she felt a flutter of excitement in her chest. After breakfast, she met Ryan in the lobby. He was already waiting, holding a small notebook and a warm smile. "Good morning, Mira," Ryan said. "I have planned something different for today. I want to show you the work we do outside these walls. It is about meeting people directly, listening to their stories, and learning from them." Mira's eyes widened. "That sounds amazing. I would love to see it." They walked together to a small van parked outside. It was filled with supplies, books, stationery, and small gifts for children in nearby neighborhoods. Mira noticed Ryan giving instructions to a few volunteers. He was patient and kind, listening carefully to each person's opinion. Even in leadership, he seemed calm and approachable. As they drove through different parts of the city, Mira noticed areas she had never seen before, places where families struggled to make ends meet, where children played in streets instead of parks. It was a side of the city that was hidden from tourists and visitors, but Ryan treated it with care and respect. Their first stop was a small community center in a crowded neighborhood. Children ran up to them with bright smiles. Some recognized Ryan from previous visits, while others were meeting him for the first time. Mira felt her heart swell with warmth. These children were happy to see visitors who cared about them, and she realized how important small acts of attention could be. Ryan handed out books and school supplies. Mira helped organize games and activities. She read stories, guided drawing sessions, and encouraged shy children to participate. The joy in their faces made her feel alive in a way she had never experienced before. One little girl tugged at Mira's sleeve. "Can you read to me?" she asked softly. Mira knelt down, holding the book, and began to tell the story. As she read, she noticed Ryan watching quietly from the side, his expression thoughtful. It was clear that he respected her naturally gentle approach and the way she connected with the children. After the activities, Ryan and Mira sat together under a large tree outside the community center. "I wanted you to see this side of our work," Ryan said. "It's easy to focus on numbers, buildings, or plans, but the real meaning comes from helping people directly. What we do affects lives in ways that are often invisible to the world." Mira nodded. "I can see that. Even a small gesture, a smile, a story, a book can mean so much to someone." Ryan looked at her seriously. "Exactly. And you understand that instinctively. That is why I value your presence here." You remind me of why these efforts are important, even when things get complicated or overwhelming. Mira felt a warmth in her chest. She had never imagined that a simple act of kindness in the rain would lead her to a place where she could make a difference and meet someone who shared her values. As they continued their visit, Mira began to notice the balance in Ryan's life. He was wealthy and successful, but he never let it distance him from the people he helped. He listened, encouraged, and treated everyone with respect no matter their status. Mira realized that true power came from compassion and integrity, not money or influence. By the end of the day, Mira felt exhausted but fulfilled. She had learned more in a few hours than she had imagined possible. She understood that life was not just about comfort or routine, it was about connecting with others, offering help when it was needed, and finding joy in the growth of those around you. On the ride back, Ryan glanced at Mira. I have seen many people in my life, but very few make an impact the way you do. Your kindness is natural, and it inspires me to do better. Mira smiled softly, feeling a deep sense of purpose. I think we all have the ability to make a difference. Sometimes we just need a chance to see it and act. As the city lights flickered on and the van drove back toward Ryan's office, both of them sat in quiet reflection. Mira had discovered a world she never knew existed, and Ryan had discovered someone who reminded him of the simple but powerful truths of life. That day, they both understood something important. Courage, kindness, and genuine care could change lives, not just for others, but for themselves as well. And the journey they had begun together was shaping into something neither of them could have imagined. A bond built on trust, respect, and a shared purpose. The next morning, Mira woke up feeling energized. The previous days had been full of learning, laughter, and discovery. She could not believe how much her life had changed in such a short time. Today, Ryan had promised a new experience, and she felt a mix of curiosity and excitement. When she met Ryan in the hotel lobby, he was holding a folder filled with papers and maps. Good morning, Mira, he said with a warm smile. Today I want to take you somewhere different. It will be a challenge, but I think you will enjoy it. Mira tilted her head, intrigued. A challenge? What kind of challenge? Ryan laughed softly. Don't worry. It is a test of teamwork and problem solving. You will see how small actions can make a big difference. Are you ready? Mira nodded confidently. I am ready. They drove to a nearby park on the edge of the city. It was large and green, filled with trees, open fields, and small walking paths. Several volunteers were already there, setting up stations with signs and instructions. Mira could see groups of people waiting, smiling, and chatting. Ryan explained the task. Today we are helping organize a community event for children and families. Each station has a challenge or activity. Some require teamwork, some require creativity. Your goal is to guide the children, help them participate, and make sure everyone enjoys themselves. Mira smiled. She liked challenges, especially when they involved helping others. She quickly joined a group at the first station, which was a puzzle game. Children of different ages were working together, trying to complete a large, colorful puzzle on the ground. Mira knelt down, encouraging them, offering hints and celebrating each small success. Ryan moved among the other stations, guiding volunteers and helping children when needed. Mira noticed how patient and kind he was. Even when problems arose, he stayed calm and positive. She realized that his patience was not just in business or planning. It was a part of who he was. At one station, a young boy became frustrated because he could not finish a drawing. Mira knelt beside him. It is okay to make mistakes, she said softly. Try your best and remember, every effort is special. The boy nodded, took a deep breath, and tried again. Soon he smiled proudly at his creation. Ryan noticed Mira helping the boy and gave her a small nod of approval. He knew she had a natural gift for connecting with people, especially children. Her encouragement was making a difference, and he could see the joy it brought to everyone. As the day went on, challenges appeared. Some games were tricky, some required careful planning, and some required patience when children argued or became shy. Mira handled each situation calmly, guiding children with gentle words, helping them work together, and celebrating every small achievement. At one point, a group of parents arrived late and seemed unsure about where to go. Mira quickly welcomed them, explained the activities, and helped their children join the games. Ryan watched from a distance, impressed. Mira had not only adapted to the challenge, but she had also made everyone feel comfortable and included. By the end of the day, The event was a success. Children laughed, parents thanked the volunteers, and the park was filled with smiles. Mira felt proud and happy. She realized that small acts of guidance, patience, and encouragement could create a ripple effect of joy. Ryan approached Mira as the sun began to set. "You did wonderfully today," he said. "I wanted you to see that challenges are not just about solving problems. They are about connecting, helping, and inspiring others. You have a gift for this, Mira." Mira felt a warm glow in her chest. "Thank you, Ryan. I learned so much today." It was not just about helping the children. It was about understanding people and seeing the impact of kindness. Ryan smiled. "Exactly. And meeting you has reminded me that the right people can change not just others' lives but also their own. I am grateful that you are here." As they walked back to the car, Mira realized that every day with Ryan was teaching her something new, not just about the city or its people, but about courage, patience, and the true power of kindness. And Ryan, walking beside her, understood that her presence was changing his life in ways he had never expected. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with orange and pink hues, and both of them felt that this journey, one of discovery, challenges, and connection, was far from over. The morning air was crisp and bright as Mira stepped out of the hotel. Today felt different. She had begun to understand the city, Ryan's work, and even the rhythm of his life, yet she sensed that there was more to Ryan than what he showed the world. Something in his eyes yesterday had hinted at a hidden side, one that few people had seen. Ryan greeted her with a warm smile. "Good morning, Mira. Are you ready for another adventure today?" "I am," Mira replied. "But you seem thoughtful this morning. Is something on your mind?" Ryan hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, I want to show you something very personal today. Something I rarely share with anyone." Mira's curiosity grew. "I would like that. I want to understand more about your life." They drove through the city in silence, the familiar streets passing by. Mira noticed Ryan's usually calm demeanor seemed slightly serious, yet still composed. Finally, they reached a quiet part of the city where the buildings were smaller and the streets were lined with trees. They arrived at a modest house not far from the busy areas of the city. "This is my childhood neighborhood," Ryan said softly. "I grew up here, and though my life changed later, this place shaped who I am." Mira followed him as they walked through the small yard. Children played in the streets. Neighbors greeted each other warmly, and the air smelled faintly of home-cooked meals. Mira could see the simplicity and charm of the place. Ryan led her inside a small, tidy house. "This is where my family lived," he explained. "Life was not always easy. We had enough to survive, but there were challenges. I learned early that wealth and comfort are not guaranteed, and that every opportunity must be earned and respected." Mira listened intently. She had never imagined that Ryan, with all his success and wealth, had come from such humble beginnings. "It is beautiful here," she said softly. "You had a strong foundation, even if it was not rich in money." Ryan nodded. "Exactly. And I have always remembered these lessons. They guide how I live, how I work, and how I help others. But even with success, there is a responsibility that can feel heavy. I want to share that with you today." He led Mira to a small room filled with old photographs, letters, and keepsakes from his family. Mira looked around, noticing the pictures of a young boy, his parents, and neighbors from long ago. Ryan explained each one, sharing stories of his childhood struggles, the values his parents taught him, and the lessons he had carried into adulthood. "This room reminds me of who I am and why I do what I do," Ryan said. "Sometimes people see only the wealth and the public image, but the real story is here, in the experiences, the lessons, and the responsibility to make life better for others." Mira felt a deep respect for him. "I understand, Ryan. You have worked hard to honor your past and create a better future for many. That is inspiring." Ryan looked at her thoughtfully. "Meeting you, Mira, has reminded me that kindness and courage are powerful. You acted without thinking yesterday and in the first moment we met. That instinct, that genuine heart is something rare. It makes me reflect on my own life and how I want to continue it." Mira smiled softly. "I think everyone has moments where they can make a difference. Sometimes we just need to be brave enough to act." Ryan nodded, a faint smile appearing. "You are right. And you have shown me that bravery can be quiet and gentle, yet incredibly strong. I value that more than you know." As they stepped outside, the sun cast warm light on the streets, highlighting the memories of Ryan's past. and the promise of the future. Mira realized that she was witnessing not only his success but also the hidden struggles, the lessons learned, and the courage it took to carry responsibility. Ryan looked at Mira and said quietly, "Thank you for being here. Not many people see this side of me, but you do. I feel that knowing you is changing me in ways I did not expect." Mira felt her heart fill with warmth. She understood that their connection had grown deeper, beyond admiration, beyond curiosity. It was a bond built on respect, trust, and shared values. That day, Mira saw a new side of Ryan, a side shaped by humility, responsibility, and care. And Ryan, in turn, began to see that life's greatest strength came not from wealth or power, but from understanding, courage, and the kindness of someone willing to step forward when it mattered most. The morning sun shone warmly on the city as Mira stepped out of the hotel. Today felt special, different from all the other days she had spent with Ryan. Over the past week, she had learned, helped, and grown, but she could sense that today would bring a change that neither of them could have predicted. Ryan greeted her with a calm smile. "Good morning, Mira. Are you ready for one more adventure before you return home?" "I am," Mira replied. "I wonder what today will bring." Ryan guided her to a large hall in his office building. Inside, volunteers were setting up tables, chairs, and decorations. There was a buzz of excitement in the air. Mira could see that something important was happening. "This is a special event," Ryan explained. "We are inviting children, families, and community members to celebrate their achievements. But more than that, I want to share something very personal with everyone and with you." Mira looked at him curious. Ryan's eyes, usually confident and composed, showed a hint of nervousness. She realized that even someone as strong as Ryan could feel anxious when opening his heart to others. As the event began, children and families arrived, greeted warmly by the volunteers. Mira helped guide them, just as she had during the other days. She read stories, assisted with activities, and encouraged the children to participate. The laughter, smiles, and gratitude filled the hall, creating a feeling of warmth and joy. When the program was ready, Ryan stood at the front. He spoke calmly but with emotion. "Today is a celebration not of wealth or power, but of kindness, courage, and the strength to help others. I want to thank every volunteer, every child, and every family who has been part of this journey. And I want to thank someone very special who reminded me of the true meaning of life." Mira looked up, surprised. Ryan turned toward her, his expression sincere. "Mira, your courage, kindness, and selfless actions have inspired me more than you can imagine. You helped me see that the greatest wealth in life comes from the heart, not from money. Because of you, I understand my responsibilities and my purpose more clearly. You have changed my life forever." Mira felt her heart swell. She had only acted naturally, helping a stranger in the rain, but she realized that simple acts of kindness could have powerful effects. She smiled humbly. "I am honored, Ryan. I only did what I thought was right. But I'm grateful that it has helped you and others." Ryan smiled back, his eyes reflecting deep respect and admiration. "It has done more than help. It has shown me what truly matters. I want to continue making a difference inspired by your example." The event continued with laughter, games, and celebrations. Families shared stories of how the community center had helped them, and children proudly displayed their achievements. Mira moved among the people, helping and encouraging. But now she also noticed the subtle changes in Ryan. He was more relaxed, more open, and more joyful. The burden he had carried, the pressure of wealth and responsibility, seemed lighter. Mira's presence had brought balance, perspective, and hope. As the day came to a close, Ryan and Mira stepped outside to watch the sunset over the city. The sky was painted with shades of orange, pink, and gold. A calm breeze blew, carrying the sounds of laughter and joy from the hall behind them. "I never expected a simple act of kindness to lead to all of this," Ryan said softly. "Meeting you has taught me so much. You have reminded me that life's true meaning lies in the care we show, the courage we display, and the love we share." Mira smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "And you have shown me that one person can create change, inspire others, and make the world brighter. We have both learned from each other." Ryan nodded, his eyes shining. "Yes, Mira. And I hope this is just the beginning of a journey where we continue to make a difference. Together in spirit, if not always in the same place." Mira looked at him, understanding that their connection was more than friendship. It was a bond built on trust, respect, and shared values. She felt proud that her actions, small as they seemed, had created a ripple effect that changed someone's life and many others for the better. As the sun disappeared behind the horizon, the city glowed softly in the evening light. Mira realized that the world was full of opportunities to do good, and that courage, kindness, and sincerity could transform lives in ways no one could predict. Ryan watched her quietly, knowing that this life-changing journey had only been possible because of her presence. And in that moment, both of them understood that some meetings are meant to change everything, and this was one of them. The day ended not with endings, but with hope, promise, and the beginning of a brighter future for everyone whose lives they had touched.